In 1943, the US government erased an entire town from every map in America. Not a small village, a town of 75,000 people. And almost no one knew about it until 2014. That's secret number 1. I've got 5 more, and they only get stranger from here. Oak Ridge, the town that didn't exist. So let's start with that erased town, Oak Ridge, Tennessee. In 1943, the US Army acquired 56,000 acres of land and told the families living there to leave. No explanation, no negotiation, just go. Within months, a city of 75,000 people appeared out of nowhere, but you couldn't find it on any map. No road signs pointed to it, no trains stopped there. The post office redirected all mail through a fake address. And here's the wildest part. Most of the people working there had no idea what they were building. Women were hired to operate these machines called calutrons. They'd watch dials and adjust knobs all day. Nobody told them they were enriching uranium for the Manhattan Project. They were just told, turn the dial when the needle goes right. Oak Ridge consumed 1/6 of all electricity produced in the entire United States. 1/6 for a city that officially didn't exist. The secret was kept for over 50 years, and the people who lived there didn't learn what they'd been part of until the bomb dropped on Hiroshima in 1945, and even then, many details stayed classified until the 1990s. Now, that was a secret kept for national security. But the next one? This was a secret kept to protect a reputation. The Tuskegee syphilis experiment. In 1932, the U.S. Public Health Service started a study in Tuskegee, Alabama. They recruited 600 black men, 399 with syphilis, 201 without. They were told they were getting free health care. They were told they had bad blood. That was a lie. The government never intended to treat them. The real purpose was to study how syphilis progressed when left untreated. Even though a cure, penicillin, became widely available by the 1940s, the researchers actively prevented participants from getting treatment. When some men were drafted for World War II and would have received penicillin during their military physicals, the study's directors intervened to make sure they stayed untreated. This went on for 40 years. 40 years. It wasn't stopped by the government or by any oversight board. It was stopped by a whistleblower, a CDC employee named Peter Buxton, who leaked the story to the press in 1972. The fallout was massive. A lawsuit settled for $10 million. New federal regulations for human research were created. And in 1997, President Clinton formally apologized on behalf of the United States government. But here's the part they don't teach you. By the time it ended, 128 men had died directly from syphilis or its complications. 40 of their wives were infected. 19 children were born with congenital syphilis, all preventable, all hidden behind the word study. Some secrets protect power. Some secrets protect profit. The next one? This one protected both. The CIA's MKUltra program. In 1953, the CIA launched a program so disturbing that when it was finally exposed, the director of the CIA himself called it a departure from the nation's heritage. The program was called MKUltra, and for 20 years it operated in complete secrecy. The goal? Mind control. The CIA wanted to find ways to extract information from prisoners, manipulate behavior, and even create involuntary assassins. Their methods included dosing unwitting US and Canadian citizens with LSD, in bars, in restaurants, in mental hospitals. People were drugged without their knowledge and then observed. One of the most notorious sub-projects was Operation Midnight Climax. The CIA set up safe houses in San Francisco, hired sex workers to lure men in, drugged them with LSD, and observed them from behind two-way mirrors. The subjects had zero idea what was happening to them. When the program was exposed in 1975 by the Church Committee, CIA Director Richard Helms had already ordered all MKUltra records destroyed in 1973. We only know what we know because of a small cache of financial records that survived the purge. The full scope of MKUltra, we still don't know. Thousands of documents were destroyed. The people involved took their secrets to the grave. Before we get to number 4, if you're finding this fascinating, hit subscribe. We unlock secrets like this every week, and you won't want to miss what's coming. Now, this next one was hidden for over 50 years, and it happened in plain sight. The COINTELPRO files. For 15 years, from 1956 to 1971, the FBI ran a secret program designed to, in their own words, expose, disrupt, misdirect, discredit, or otherwise neutralize American citizens. The program was called COINTELPRO, and the targets: civil rights leaders, anti-war protesters, feminists, environmentalists, anyone J. Edgar Hoover considered a threat to the status quo. Martin Luther King Jr. was one of the primary targets. The FBI bugged his hotel rooms, recorded his private conversations, and sent him an anonymous letter suggesting he should take his own life. That letter was written by FBI agents. It arrived at King's home while he was preparing to accept the Nobel Peace Prize. The program also created fake documents to turn allies against each other. They planted informants in organizations to provoke illegal activity that could then be used to justify arrests. In some cases, they orchestrated violent conflicts between rival groups to destroy both from the inside. None of this was known to the public until 1971, when a group of activists broke into an FBI field office in Media, Pennsylvania, and stole thousands of documents. They mailed copies to major newspapers. The FBI initially dismissed the documents as forgeries until the evidence became undeniable. The official COINTELPRO program was shut down, but many believe similar tactics never truly stopped. They just got better at hiding them. Okay, the next secret isn't about a government program. It's about a lie that an entire industry told the world for nearly half a century. And the people who exposed it, they were destroyed. Big Tobacco's internal cover-up. In 1953, scientists at a major tobacco company made a discovery: smoking causes lung cancer. They confirmed it in their own laboratories, their own research, their own scientists, and then they buried it. For the next 40 years, the tobacco industry ran a coordinated campaign to convince the public that the link between smoking and cancer was still debatable. They funded their own research designed to create doubt, not find truth. They placed friendly scientists in media appearances. They ran ads featuring doctors endorsing cigarettes. They even created fake grassroots organizations to fight anti-smoking legislation. The internal documents tell the real story. In one memo from 1969, a tobacco executive wrote, "Doubt is our product, since it is the best means of competing with the body of fact that exists in the minds of the general public." Let me say that again. Doubt is our product. That wasn't a whistleblower. That was their strategy. The truth only came out in the 1990s, when internal documents were finally forced into the light through litigation. In 1998, the largest civil settlement in US history, $206 billion, over 25 years, was reached between tobacco companies and 46 states. But here's the number that stays with me. According to the CDC, an estimated 480,000 Americans die each year from smoking-related illness. For 4 decades, the industry knew and said nothing. Doubt was their product. Death was the cost. The Nuremberg Trials suppressed evidence. At the Nuremberg Trials after World War II, the world learned about the horrors of the Holocaust through the testimony of witnesses, the presentation of documents, and the screening of footage from liberated concentration camps. But what most people don't know is that the Allies chose to suppress certain categories of evidence, specifically evidence of sexual violence. Historians have since discovered that Allied prosecutors deliberately excluded testimony about the systematic sexual violence that occurred in the camps. They believed it would be too disturbing for the public, or that it might undermine the credibility of witnesses in a legal setting where rape carried a unique stigma. This suppression had consequences that lasted generations. The experiences of thousands of victims were erased from the official record. For decades, historians and educators taught the Holocaust without acknowledging this dimension, not because it didn't happen, but because the people who recorded the history made a choice about what the public could handle. This secret didn't come from a classified document or a government vault. It came from silence, a deliberate, structured silence that shaped how an entire era was understood. It was only in the 2000s and 2010s that scholars began systematically recovering this evidence from trial transcripts, survivor testimonies, and archives that had been accessible but ignored. The past doesn't change, but what we choose to see in it, that changes everything. 6 secrets, 6 different reasons for hiding the truth: national security, racism, power, control, profit, and shame. And 6 different moments when that truth finally broke through. That's the thing about history. The past isn't gone, it's just locked. And every time someone turns the key, we understand our world a little better. If you want more secrets like this, subscribe to Past Unlocked History. Drop a comment telling me which of these 6 shocked you the most. I read every single one, and I'll see you in the next one.